Hey, what's going on, Derrick Washington? Derrick Speaks. Hey, check this out. I was talking about the credit stack hack method. I wrote all this out. I did it. Got me a little cheat sheet because a lot of people want to know how they can apply for personal credit cards and business credit cards. That's going to put them in the best situation. Because ultimately, sometimes you want to move on to business, but you got to start with personal, right? So there's a couple different methods that you can go about doing this. There's the vertical method, which means that you got to look at, you have the major credit bureaus or Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax, right? So the vertical method is applying for credit cards that pull from Experian only, or Equifax only, or TransUnion only. The vertical method is you apply for a card that pulls from Experian, one from TransUnion, and one from Equifax, and therefore you will have the least amount of hard inquiries spread out amongst your credit reports, right? So, because if you get too many on one credit bureau, that credit bureau is done. And hard inquiries sit on your credit for 2 years, right? And after 6 months, they don't have as much weight to them, but they still sitting there. So that's the whole issue, right? So the whole thing is to put yourself in the best situation so you can maximize funding. All right. So I'm gonna give you some banks now. This is for informational purposes. Don't try to tattoo me to the wall because, hey, some of this information was a little off. Do your own research. That's what you got the internet for. It's like, I mean, you're paying for the internet. Use it. You know what I mean? So let's go. So I'm going to go down the list for personal credit cards, right? Personal credit cards that pull from Experian. Here's my list. Now, another caveat, different regions of the country, banks have gotten smarter. They've tightened up their lending. So it used to be for years and years and years, certain banks pull from specific credit bureaus. Now, it's like now that if you stay in different parts of the world, they've switched it up. And the reason they're starting to change a lot of their rules is because a lot of us decided to run off on the plug. Sometimes you got that money, you didn't pay it back. Not saying that you was doing nefarious things. However, life happens sometimes and you couldn't do it. So the bank took a L. Banks don't never take a L, but that's neither here nor there. They took a loss. So they said to prevent that from happening, we're going to change the rules. So instead of being able to give everybody the biggest bag in the world, let's give them a smaller bag. So I'm going to tell you about which lenders, which banks, who they pulling from specific regions. I'm in the South, so this is my region. In other regions, they pull from different locations. So do your own research. So I'm gonna talk. So Experian, we got Chase. Now, Chase is the big dog. They're one of the largest out there. They're giving out some of the largest bags. But here's the thing now. Chase has a 5 and 24 rule. So that means that no matter how awesome your credit is, how wonderful your profile, how great your utilization is, if you have 5 new lines of credit within the past 24 months, personal, they will deny you, even with an 850 credit score. So just know that before you go in applying, messing with them people, playing in their face. All right. So Chase usually pulls from Experian on the personal side. It may be a difference in a different location, but in the South region, Chase pulls from Experian. Remember the 5 and 24 rule, so they are inquiry sensitive. Now, Amex, American Express. Oh my goodness. Let me tell you, it's one of my favorites, and I'm gonna tell you why. Is because American Express has an unwritten rule that says that once you get your first personal credit card through American Express, they do that hard pull at one time. So for the next 2 years, they will not give you a hard pull on your credit from Experian. Okay, so now you qualify for 14 different credit cards, business and personal, and lines of credit through American Express with a soft pull. So you can really run the bag up with American Express if you got everything set up right, if you approve for the right amount, and stay out of American Express jail. I can speak vividly on that one, but that's another story for another day. Next bank, Bank of America. So Bank of America usually pulls from Experian on personal credit cards. Now, in different regions, they pull from TransUnion, but personal credit cards in the southern region usually pulls from Experian. Okay. U.S. Bank. U.S. Bank traditionally pulls from Experian for personal credit cards. So U.S. Bank is backed by or backs uh, We're not going to get into that. Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo pulled from Experian. Okay. So Citibank. Personal cards pulled from Experian. Capital One. Capital One is the dud in the mud, I like to call it, because they tend to pull from all three credit bureaus. Them and the next one, Discover. Because Capital One bought out Discover last year. So now they got the same underwriters, the same rules, the same regulations. So I don't like those two because they tend to pull. So you get three hard inquiries for one card. So imagine if you didn't get approved and you still got the three hard inquiries for the one for a card that you didn't even have. So it's not, to me, it's not worth it. But to you, it may be. Yeah, I don't know. Because you don't have to have a traditionally high score to get a Discover or a Capital One. You literally can have a 580 credit score and still get approved for a Capital One or Discover. So Discover users a little bit, they want you to have a 620, but Capital One 580, 575, you probably can slide in there because they tend to have higher rates than everybody else. And that's that. NASA Federal Credit Union. NASA Federal Credit Union. It used to be regional. They opened it up for the country. So, and the different ways to get in, you just join the I'll put it in the comments section, the little place you join and be able to join all different credit unions that are regional across the entire country. Just pay, I think it's like a $20 fee, annual fee or whatever, a lifetime fee, and you're able to, and it opens you up as a member. And I put it in there so you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Just go do your own research and you'll know. So, because you don't just have to worry about depending on the banks that's right here in your backyard. You got banks that's all over the country who's willing to allow you to become a member of their credit unions, and you don't stay anywhere near them. Okay. And the last one, First Tech Federal Credit Union, as well as another one. If it's regional, you can join the list, but all of these pull from Experian. Now moving on to Equifax. Equifax, first one on the list is PenFed, Pentagon Federal Credit Union, is just as big as their rival Navy Federal, but Navy Federal has the largest amount of members in the world, the largest credit union in the United States, should I say? So PenFed, strong third place, is pretty good. It's for military and people who serve and family members of service members. Go in there and get your nice little bag from PenFed, personal. Equifax, Truist Bank, regional. We cannot in this state of Louisiana apply for Truist Bank, but if you're in Texas or Mississippi or Alabama, Georgia, you can go ahead and get yourself some Truist. And they pull from Equifax. Then you have Citi. Citi also is one of those who's constantly moving their regional pool. So here's the thing. They may pull TransUnion. They may pull Equifax. They may pull Experian. The one that you have the strongest score with, prayerfully, they're the one that they're going to pull from. So what do? You go to Experian, Equifax, or TransUnion. You log in, get your free account, and freeze the other two bureaus. So if your strongest score is Equifax, right, and you go and freeze TransUnion and Experian, in prayers they'll pull it from Equifax. Well, what happened is if Equifax is the one they're going for, guess what? They're going to pull that and approve you or decline you. So if Equifax is not the one and they were trying to pull Experian and it's frozen, well, they're going to let you know. They're going to send you an email and say, hey, we need you to unlock your Experian. And if your Experian is strong enough, what do? You unlock your Experian, you lock up your Equifax. Now it's frozen, and they're going to pull directly from Experian. So there you go. So either way it goes, if your scores are solid enough, you'll be able to go ahead and get these. Now, Citibank is a prime lender, so they want you to have at least a 700 credit score. You can have a 680, but they want you to have a 700 plus credit score, at least over 17. But you can go get it. So Chase does this thing, flippity flop, right? So freeze the other two and let them run through Equifax, and then go from there. And they're gonna send you the email. If they do, they're gonna say, hey, which one to open up? Lock the other two, open that one, and go from there. So Discover. Again, discovering Capital One, they're gonna pull from all three. Just know that. So you can freeze the other two all you want to. They're gonna decline it and say until you open the other two, we're not gonna approve anything. Just know that. Okay. You have SunTrust Bank. SunTrust Bank will pull from Equifax. Okay. Langley Federal Credit Union pulled from Equifax. Justice Federal Credit Union. Now, all these banks, you can go and look them up for yourself. Their websites will tell you exactly what the deal. Some of them are regional. They only go to certain states, right? So you go and see if you're in a state that they will let you go and get your line of credit from. And you have Dover Federal Credit Union. So all of these credit unions and stuff that you can build relationships with and go ahead and start because they got the bag. Because credit unions, you got to think they're not like regular banks. Regular banks are owned privately, right? Credit unions are owned by the members, right? They're mutual companies. So all the members own. That's how they're able to give larger limits because it's kind of like taking the middleman out. They don't have a board that they have to pay out so much money. You still got a board on the credit union. The difference is you own it, right? As a member, you got $1 in that bank. You mutually own this company as well. So why not give yourself a nice little bag? You own it. Anywho, so USAA, another military bank. You have to be military, prior military members, service members, and stuff like that in family. And USA number 2. So you got Navy Federal, USAA, and Penn Fed. 1, 2, 3. If you really love those military banks and you've been a service member, go back and get what's yours. So USA does have a lot of credit cards that they have. They got about 7 credit cards from secured all the way up to tier 1, top tier, best credit thing. And they pull from Equifax. Okay. So you have Ally, or however you want to pronounce it. Ally pulls from Equifax. Now, TransUnion. TransUnion, we're gonna start out swinging with the big dog. Barclays Bank. Barclays Bank, they have a nice little aviator credit card, and they got 2 others, I believe. They're mostly for travel cards. Travel cards come with the high interest rates, but they also come with the biggest amount of perks and points. So, but because they don't have so many cards, and it's a company that's really from overseas, but they've been around in the United States for a very long time. The thing about it is they do pull from TransUnion, and they want you to have at least a 740 plus credit score to even qualify. So keep that in mind. Synchrony, oh my goodness, any kind of store from every store that you can think of, all of these store cards, they are backed by Synchrony Bank. And which means they're easier to get. So you can have like a 550, 540, 520 on some of them to get a credit card. The problem is they're going to approve you, but it's going to be for like a tiny limit, $200, $300, $500. So if that's the type of stuff that you're okay with, because you got to think, most people don't typically spend 20 grand in, JC Penney, you know what I'm saying? So you don't typically spend $10,000 in, Walmart or whatever the case may be, even though Walmart is backed by Capital One or Chase or something like that now, but most of the store cards are small, and so you're not spending a ton of money in those stores. They don't really have a justification of giving you a large limit. But just to have a credit card, period, it's okay to start out with something like that. Don't just be like, they're gonna say, hey, you want to save 20%? Come on and get this card. Yeah, no. So anyways, Navy Federal, the house of high limits. Navy, well, it used to be for the past 5-6 years ago. They were, you could have had a 580 and got a $25,000 limit at Navy Federal. That's for military, family, friends, anybody who's associated with somebody. Have you ever seen a military member? You'll get approved to have an account in Navy Federal. Go over there and apply. They pull from TransUnion, and they will make you happy, okay? Again, U.S. Bank, regional pools. U.S. Bank, freeze the other 2 and apply. Hopefully a pull from your TransUnion. Apple Card. You got an Apple device, you go ahead and apply through your phone. Or you can log in on your laptop or tablet and stuff like that with your Apple ID and apply right there. Now, there was a hack that you can get that without a hard inquiry. I don't know if it's uh, still operational now because they changed banks and underwriters, but you know, your choice because they're Goldman Sachs now. So, but nonetheless, they still pull from TransUnion to approve you because they'll show you a limit before you accept the card. So do with that information what you will. PayPal, been around since 1998. They pull from TransUnion. So whenever you need a line of credit, you start a business and use them as a payment processor. They'll see the transactions and allow you to get a business line of credit as well. Um, do it. Hey man, do what you must do. Handle your business. Again, Capital One. We already talked about. They're gonna pull all three. There's no way around it. And sometimes they don't give you the best limits, but I will say, they will take care of you on your increases every 6 months. So, and Discover, same bank, same family, same house. Sam's, you want a Sam's Club credit card? They will pull from TransUnion. Go in the store and apply right there. Apply online. Apple Federal Credit Union, they pull from TransUnion. Regions Bank, pull from TransUnion. Regions is very conservative with their limits. Even if you make a ton of money and your credit profile is secure and strong, Regions is very um, uh, limited as far as really taking care of you. You have to date Regions Bank for a really long time. They want you to date them for about 12 to 14 months before they start to really try to give you nice limits over there. So, do what you want to do with that information. And Allegiant Bank. So that's ALLIA, Alliant. I said Allegiant. ALLIANT, Alliant Bank. They pull from TransUnion. So what's in the synopsis? The credit unions will probably give you some of the highest limits because they don't have that much money that they have to pass around to all the board members. The largest banks will give you larger limits as well if your credit profile is super solid. So, in other words, the credit unions won't need the biggest and strongest credit scores. The larger banks will, but there's protocol. You got to freeze your credit and see if they're actually pulling from certain bureaus. Go ahead and do it. Like, you can just test it out. You can just apply for stuff you don't want to, know you're not going to be approved for. Just freeze all three of your credit bureaus, then push apply. You won't get a hard pull, but you will get an email that says, I need you to unlock this credit bureau, and that'll let you know exactly who they pull from. So any of these banks I mentioned, you do that test right there online, push apply, and freeze all three of your credit bureaus. Freeze them, then push apply. And then they'll send you an email and let you know which credit bureau to unlock. So there you go. I've mentioned on this first video your personal credit report, your personal credit cards that you can apply for. And you got a choice. You can choose 2 or 3 or 4 to vertically apply that pulls from the same credit bureau. Or you can do it horizontally and choose 3 or 4 that 1 or 2 that pulls from different credit bureaus. So 2 that pulls from Experian, 2 that pulls from Equifax, 2 that pulls from TransUnion. Now you got your 5 or 6 cards, and you got 2 or 3 hard pulls, and now, but you got $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 limits. You know what I mean? So that's one way to go about doing it. And just season those things. What do I mean when I say season them? Use them, pay them. Use them, pay them. Do that for about 3 to 6 months. Hey, a year from now it's time to go build some business funding. And we're going to talk about that next in the next video. So, all right, I'm Derrick. Derrick Speaks. I'll holler at you later.